Hi everyone, I hope you are all fine. Today I am going to tell you us about Lovely Writer BL series, so let's begin. I'm absolutely loving this series so far. The cinematography, directing, production level, acting, story, simply marvelous. Episode 9 was too good to not write a review before the series ended. It was downright cinematic. The blockings for some of the scenes were amazing. It was art at its finest. In one episode, storyline was on point, characters well portrayed, cinematography a masterpiece and a roller coaster of emotions. There was no dull moments or awkwardness in between. It was all amazingly done. The way this episode showed how problematic homophobic norms were passed down from one generation to the other, that living as a gay person means living in fear and judgment, that accepting oneself as being gay is not normal, it needs to stop. This episode also showed how it's all funny and amusing until one of your children is actually the one being called funny and amusing. It's interesting and nice to see how they showed the parents being entertained by the gays on screen, but when it's someone from the family, the table's suddenly quiet and all hell breaks loose. Not many people could fully understand how heavy and nerve-wracking the scene at the family table was, because I could never. But the emotions that ran through each and every one of the characters, I could at least dare to slightly fathom the weight of the confession scene as well as the confrontation scene later on. Aside from the heavy scenes of this episode, there were the soft and steamy ones that I, not gonna lie, absolutely loved. There were so many of my favorite scenes in this episode, and, of course, many domestic ones that I embarrassingly found myself squealing, too. No regrets though, cause they're so adorable and beautiful together. Also, kudos to Gene. Love his character development. He seemed so unsure of himself at the beginning of the series, but now that he knows, he chose to accept himself and face it head on. I'm so amazed at how brave he is. The man is the epitome of confidence, being honest to himself and choosing not to be a coward, even from his family. He knew what could happen if he admitted his relationship with Msik, but he still did it anyway because he knew it was the right thing to do, and he wanted to be honest with both himself and his parents. Really, Gene deserved the world, but the world didn't deserve him. And Msik, raising standards every step of the way. He's the consent king and nobody can tell me otherwise. He's always making sure he's not forcing Gene to do anything and tells him he's willing to wait for him if he's not ready. Where do I get myself and Msik, huh? Putting episode 9 aside, how could I? The audacity, for a while, overall, Ep 1 to Ep 8, was as amazing as Ep 9. Starting from the first episode, each scene was played and directed so well, I wondered, why is this so good already? Was it the unique plot, the well-known director, the amazing actors, or all of the above? Feeling it was the latter. Though what I especially loved was the shade thrown on BL stereotypes and all the other toxic labels. This series was not following your typical BL from the get-go and I loved it. This mindset carried on, and it doesn't seem to want to stop. I'm all for it. The chemistry between Up and Kao is phenomenal. Everyone knows this by now, and even if you don't like either of them, I don't understand you can't deny their chemistry. Up is an exceptional actor. His portrayal of Gene is simply splendid, the way he shows every emotion through his face expressions and body movements. Kao has improved so much from Ep 1 to Ep 9. I used to cringe a tiny bit in the first few eps, but recently he's been bringing justice to his character. The way he looks at Gene with love, respect and fondness is out of this world. The way he shows his frustration, anger and jealousy is so strong, I feel it too. A round of applause to the both of them. There's no Gene without Up, and there's no Msik without Kao. And of course, another round of applause for the rest of the cast as well as the crew. The beauty of this series is that no matter what is talked about, no matter the difference in pacing, mood, purpose, it still fits perfectly in their world called Lovely Writer. And as many people have said, this series has raised bars and standards for any BL drama. I am genuinely impressed and touched with each character's identification as being gay, and letting the characters to freely speak their minds without inhibitions. It's a wake-up call, and it's about time. I love how Lovely Writer depicts the good side of LGBT relationships, but also that cruelty of society that's against it. LW does not only show the joys of being in love, but also the struggles. This series is a fucking masterpiece, exquisite in every component. I can't praise this series enough. I don't think I can enjoy BL series with a weak plot anymore. Back then, I'd watch anything as long as it's BL, but now, this is the only BL series right now that makes me smile from beginning to end. So far, for me, it's one of the best BL this year. There are a few people out there who dropped this series after watching the first or second ep. Trust me, I thought about dropping it too, but I pushed through. Elaine, look where we're at now. Watch the series guys, give it a chance. On another note, Lovely Writer's impact as Thai Princess Ubulratana actually watching it to less than 3 characters. Pimpat as Jean. When this series was first announced I recognized the actor from somewhere, and later realized he was from the famous K.A. Lip Karen sunscreen ads. However, this is his first series as a main role, and you would not have guessed that based on the quality of his acting. For me, a good actor is someone who can create a character the audience can really relate to, and Pimpat did a perfect job of this. Jean is such a sweet, innocent guy, and I love that despite not being able to write the stuff he truly loves, he makes the best out of it and isn't afraid to call out his boss and the directors of their less than desirable thoughts and words. Jean is just as clumsy, awkward and embarrassing as myself, which I think is why I love him so much. I love that despite Jean's awkwardness, we can still see his emotions through his eyes, such as his jealousy during the interviews. Kao isn't sick. Kao has already cemented himself as a fantastic actor after his role of Cornin Until We Meet Again this series, and has further demonstrated his amazing acting abilities here. Sib is definitely the personification of serious guy who was only friendly around his lover, and Kao did a great job of this. One little thing I did notice was when he was talking to other characters like Tommy always looks very serious, but when suddenly seeing Jean his eyes light up and his entire expression changes. I love how naturally Kao can pull this off, and yet again I'm being dazzled by his good looks. I also love how, despite knowing that he messed up by not being honest with Jean, he admits he was wrong and makes the effort to communicate and let Jean know what he's thinking. He's also very understanding and won't force Jean to come out when he's not ready, which make me really happy to see no pressure from him. Bruce as Eri, I still have a lot of mixed reactions over him so far. From episode 1 to 4 he seemed cute, but far too needy/clingy/annoying. I like that he was already openly gay and doesn't try to hide this fact, which is a nice step up from the typical "I'm not gay, I just love you" lines which many BL series tend to go for. However, in episode 5 we really got to know his character more, including why he acts and behaves the way he does. If my parents and siblings, not that I have many siblings, were so unsupported like that, then I honestly think I would have rebelled and spiraled off the deep end because of that. I love that Eri doesn't let his family hold him back, and I really admire him for that. I'm concerned about where his feelings for Psyche are leading, but hopefully he'll later make up for this when he gets together with Samork. Music. The music and sound effects are perfect, they are well placed and really help the overall mood of scenes. In a funny scene sometimes they'll add little sound effects which make it even more hilarious, and the music is really nice to listen to. The show is a parody of the Thai BLs that takes on some of the issues that are so common in the Thai BL industry with a cohesive, strong storyline while being as friendly as one can be to the toxic Thai BL fanbase. Despite tackling some of the pervasive issues, the show is light and fun to watch. In a sense, they make you laugh and think simultaneously. Some of the problems the series tackles are the romanticization of disregard for consent and sexual assault, the casting preference to heterosexual to benefit from the fan events, using straight-passing gay actors as token LGBTQ after they claim they are an LGBTQ ally, shipping actors and harassing them about if it's real, predominantly being written by people who have little to no understanding of the gay relationship, the pornography-inspired intimate scenes between two men. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share this video to everyone.